Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla, and welcome to the House of Red Wine. Um, I'm really excited to be here with you guys. It is 2026. Okay, I don't really have any intention other than coming here to give us a message. And may it reach the ones that it's for our highest and greatest good. I've already prayed and blessed our decks. So the prayer is just to get a message for us, and may it be received for the ones it's for, and may it help us along our journey towards our search of fulfillment. And I'm interested in I say search of fulfillment, but for real though, like me personally, I have been sitting with the understanding that I have spent the past the most fundamental time of my life, which I think everything is like where we're supposed to be. And I have so much more life to live. But for the majority of the past almost 10 years, well, not 10 years because I was 16. Well, I'm about to be 26. I was 16 10 years ago, but like for the past 8 years, 7 years, I have been living my life in a way that, people say you should, or not even that, because in so many ways I have not done the traditional route, but I have done a thing of going to work, getting a paycheck. I did go to school for a few years. I started in high school, and I did, how many semesters did I do? 2 to 3 semesters in college, actual college, beyond dual credit. And, you know, basically, I've always been an individual that was like, this is not really what I want to do. Back in 2018, I knew that I wanted to be like entrepreneur. I remember seeing Jada Chivas, and there was some picture that she had. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to be, not be her, but have that freedom and to do things I actually really enjoy. And yes, even things that we enjoy, even things that we feel called to do, it doesn't mean there's not gonna be any effort. It doesn't mean it's not gonna be any work. And one of the lessons I've learned is you can either do the work that you don't feel called to do, or you could do the work that you do feel called to do and put your efforts towards that, because regardless, efforts and energy and time is going to be spent. So how do you want that to look, and where do you want to direct your energy to? So that is really what my lesson has been. I have had many jobs, and not because I'm not a good worker, not because I'm don't have a bone of commitment in me, but because I'm realizing like I will not be able to have a real sense of fulfillment or enjoyment if I'm doing work that is not true to my identity, or what I'm here to do, and what I feel more fulfilled by doing, and what I actually just I want this, like there's a lot of things I've done I didn't really want because it looked good, or it was what I was told to do, or me by not choosing to take certain actions towards what I did want, I ended up defaultly being in situations and places and spaces that I didn't really want to be. And so I have sat with that for like especially the past couple of years, and I watched it played out in my life, and I'm like, cool, like you see what you get to benefit from of like sorry, my camera's flipped, so I'm trying to switch it back this direction. Anyways, you already know what it's like to go down the path of, just go to work and spending all your time there. And honestly, I have not really been enjoying myself. I have not been enjoying just going to work and spending all my time there. I would rather be at home reading, studying, talking about things I'm into, pulling cards. And it's funny because I haven't pulled cards in a while, y'all. But here I am about to pull cards with you guys. But it's a tool. It's not necessarily like something where I'm like in it all the time. But I'm realizing like a lot of things that I've been wanting to do that I haven't done because I just have not had the energy. And my life has changed in the past 3 months. I'm in a new relationship. Um, Even a couple of months ago, I went to my first event as a jeweler. Well, a jewelry. I handcraft jewelry, so selling jewelry. Um, I guess you can call me a jeweler, but I'm not a jewelry maker in the aspect of silver and gold yet, or actually wielding it with my own hands. But I do handcraft jewelry. Y'all go be sure to go find me at by K Red, K by B Y K Red, KAIRED on Instagram. That's where you can find me. But honestly, I was just in my creative mode this past year, from really like March, April of 2025. And I wasn't necessarily ready to put myself out there. I was just like creating, and then I seen this event and I was like, I want to go. I want to put this out there. Um, and as I wear my jewelry every day, this is like one of the first bracelets I ever made with my newer materials, versus getting it from Michaels. Because at first I was just having fun. I was like, I've been creating jewelry. Like I've been creating waist chains, necklaces for myself. Like I made a waist chain and necklace for myself back in 2023, and I've been creating things like uh, let's see, do I got it over there? I should. Hold on. There was something I made from my mom. I took it from her. I was making things. Like I've been making things for a very long time before I even started like with my newer materials, and actually like, oh, like y'all come get something from me. This is so old. Like the materials tarnished because like this is just stuff I got from Michaels. Of course the beads are the quality is just different. It doesn't matter. The focus is the creativity. The focus is me, doing something different and having some fun with it. So this is like one of the things I created from the early times where I'm just like, oh, I'm just doing something for fun. And this is the thing I also realized, and I'm saying myself about, is allow yourself to do things for fun. And then one of the other things that also stalled me, and throughout these years, let's back it up. I know I do have intention of doing a reading, but let me just talk to you guys. Um, in 2019, my world shifted for me. Like everything changed, and I would say for the better, but it was also a lot of mourning and mental death, spiritual deaths, a lot of belief shifts, and information coming to me. And one of the things that I had to go through was a perspective shift, an identity shift, and learning about who I am as an individual in this world, because that was never the forefront of what we were taught. It was always about someone else outside of ourselves and giving ourselves over to these other people. I'm like, this is not the life I want. So I was sitting with the understanding that I'm living a life I don't want. I am accepting beliefs that don't work for me. I have questions and all this stuff. And I remember how life, God, the divine, however you want to say, energy brought information to me. It helped me learn things. And then I also had to sit with the realization that I have to apply what I'm learning. And I have to embrace and move and see, does this also fit me? Does this work for me? Is this really something that helps me? And that's another thing too that we will have to do in our lives, is learn things and realize, okay, is this for me or is it not for me? And being willing to also unlearn the things that we learned growing up, and learning things that we never did learn growing up, and being okay with that, going on that journey. Not that it's going to always be comfortable, not that it's always going to give us, I feel like I have had more of a sense of comfort. It was a little like, whew, like, at times, but I've taken it bit by bit, and then there was times where I was in it. Like I feel like I went into the things deeper that I needed to, and there's things I kind of like stepped away from for a little bit and then came back to, like trusting the timing of it all, and trusting that it's for a purpose and a reason. Um but so to say, like, I realized that, I don't want to work. I even told my mom I don't want to work in that capacity. Not that I don't want to work at all, but I don't want to have a 9 to 5. I don't want to be like obligated to fulfill a schedule, right? Like I would love the pleasure of being able to move when I'm ready to move, create when I'm ready to create. Of course, create things in a way that can pay me forward, but also, build me up. But it's off of my own versus because this is one thing I don't like. I'm going to say it like that. One of the things I did not appreciate or don't really like about it is I don't have a choice to decide to stay at home on Monday or go for a walk that day or spend some time writing or like choosing what I get to do with my time. I have to go to work or I don't have that choice to go to work again, because money. So then it comes into the point where, okay, how can you do the things that you really want to do and you enjoy and set it up in a way that does take care of you so that you can do the things that you would like to do with your time. So I am a Saturn Taurus. I'm a Saturn and Jupiter. I have Saturn and Jupiter and Taurus in my first house. One of the things I've been realizing is that you will have delays the more that you are not making choices and decisions and using your time wisely towards the things that are more true to you as an individual, because this is the house of self. This is the house of me. This is the house of identity, my core, my life force. And if I am spending my time doing things that don't bring me a sense of pleasure, that don't really genuinely bring me a sense of comfort, yes, it brings you a paycheck. Yes, it brings you money. But what is this really like? What is the real value of this? Taurus loves a value. And it can be that duality or that spectrum of, okay, yes, this gives me structure. Excuse me. This gives me stability, right? Taurus, stability, reliability. I can rely on this. But also, it's the other hand of, is this really expanding you? Is this really feeding your soul? And also, is it true stability? Yes, you have material and financial stability, but what is it doing to your core and like your identity and like your internal world? How is this really like, is this really stable for your life force? So it's that balance of like, okay, yes, you have stability, you got money coming in. No, it's not that stable because you are spiritually and internally at odds with this type of way of stability, because there's levels to this shit, right? We talk about these words, but like these words can look different, right? What stability is to someone on a physical level may not be real true stability to someone on an internal level. And I'm realizing that this is not true stability to me. Yes, it's not sustainable for me. This is not something that really brings me comfort, right? Yes, I go get a check, that's nice, right? But then I'm in there and I'm like, I'd rather be at home. Like I'd rather be over here talking about astrology. I'd rather be over here, talking to the girls and guys about what I want to talk about. Like I'd rather be doing something else. And that's how you know that it's time to make some different choices and decisions, right? And honestly, I'm also an individual. I do love to understand what I'm talking about, and what I'm saying to people. And I want to be a good steward over my life and what people receive from me. Even my jewelry business, found out that over time, literally maybe 8 months in, yeah, it was going on 8 months in, that I found out that one of the materials that I use eventually unwraps. This used to be gold. These little beads on there. Sorry. Like you can't even tell, but there's like certain parts where this used to be gold right here. This used to be gold. And I found out like, oh, this material unwraps. And I'm like, oh no. Like, but of course my first thing was, let me find the material I'm really looking for. I'm doing my research. I'm like, I need something that's not gonna tarnish. I need something that's going to last. I need like, longevity. Like I very much value high quality. I value things that are, and I, especially my price points, especially as someone that's doing one of one jewelry, I don't recreate. I'm not making it again. And eventually like I might do like limited drops of like I might make the same thing but only an X amount of them and never again, but my energy is one and done. So yeah, it's a nice price point because I'm not doing it ever again. But beyond that though, it's my time, it's my energy. valuing yourself, valuing your creativity. But beyond that, I knew that I actually gotta, I have not made another bracelet since I found out. And then I had, because I love mixing gold. Now I have made, okay, let me take it back. I have made bracelets, but not with that material. I made it like I have some stainless steel, not stainless steel. I have some sterling silver, but I haven't made my gold ones since I found out. Let me be more specific. Let me be even more specific. Okay, let me go back because when I was saying this, I'm like, hold on, you're forgetting some information. I have made my sterling silver, and then I had experimented with gold filled. So I do have some gold fields, and I have made some, but only like customs. Like I in a few of like regular inventory, but then I would realize even with that I was like, this is not even the material I still want. Eventually it doesn't have the shine that I want. It doesn't have the K red effect. Like this is giving dingy, so it wasn't really even the quality that I was looking for. So I have not made bracelets in a very long time compared to the way I was, because I don't have what I'm looking for, but I found them. I have done testing. I have a manufacturer I'm going to give my business to, because I'm like, this is more so what I'm looking for. It has the shine I'm looking for. It's the quality that I'm looking for. And now I'm going to have to invest. Even trusting your delays and trusting the moments where you have to refine certain things. Because I want, like me, I'm like, I want the best. I want to give you guys the best. I will want the best. One thing about me, I will spend money on quality items. The times that I have not spent my money on quality items is money wasted, because it doesn't last long. It's like, it doesn't last, and it's not good quality, basically. So anywho, trusting, I guess my point is saying, like, just trusting your own personal journey, trusting what you value. And right now I'm in a space where I'm like saying no to things more. I'm money that I've spent on things, I'm being like, yeah, I spent money on it, lesson learned, I'm not going down that path. I was going to decide to get into like IV compounding. Then I'm realizing like, oh, like there's a cap. Like I'm just noticing these limitations, and I'm noticing this is not even what I want to do. Basically my point is, let me bring it back. My point is, I've spent my years doing things I really don't want to do. And it has really made me feel like I don't have time and space to do the things I do want to do. But now I'm in a space where I'm like, you have to, and you need to do more things that you really want to do, to even still see, like, is this really still my interest? Is it still something I want to do? And if it is, show up for it, give it time, because Saturn does reward what you give time to that is really of yours, and that is sustainable, that especially with me, that is really like personal to me, really matters to me. And even if it has to take time, the work that I put in behind the scenes, I am a 12th house Aries Mars. I talk in those ways because like I'm learning a lot about myself throughout like these past couple of years. And I'm like, a lot of work that I do and the efforts that I put in is more so behind the scenes. People don't really get to see the work that I do until like maybe it's out there, or I'm in the midst of it, and they hear me speak or they hear me talk about something. They're like, oh, I put in work. And I had to acknowledge that within myself, because there's moments where I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough, and I'm not doing what I think I should be doing. But then I realized, like, you're doing what you need to. It's like trying to be a doctor and you did not study. Trying to be a doctor and you did not do the coursework and studying the basics and the foundation of the doctorate. Period. Like, you want to be a doctor? No. You're studying, you're learning. But also, one of the things I have been doing, y'all go find me on Threads at House of Red Wine. I've been giving as I'm learning, as I'm going. And I knew for a very long time there's things I wanted to do. And I'm like, you have to make the time for it. And if you don't make the time for it, it's just not going to happen. and allowing myself to go through trial and error, allowing myself to get shit done. It does not have to be perfect, and just showing up as me. That's all. I just want to show up as me. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of the old way of doing things for myself. Because I'm like, it's gotten you nowhere. It's gotten you frustrated. It's gotten you over it. And it's time to do something different. Period. So, yeah, guys, that's a little spiel of what's been going on. A good 20-minute breakdown. But we're here in this space together. Y'all are here with me. I do want this to be like a family. I do want this to be where we are able to have very transparent conversations. I don't, I know there's so many formats of how to do something, but I just wanted to come as I am and who I am and just morph and evolve and move from there and just show the fuck up. Period. I'm just here. Okay? Really much here. Okay. So recent energy, who knows what these cards will be about in this moment. But thank you guys for listening to me. I've been gone for a very long time from the last time I posted a video. But the things that I've been learning, the experiences I've been having, I just wanted to come back and be like, hi. And I wanted to come and pull some cards with you. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us here today. Thank you for all that you do for us. May you give us a message for our highest and greatest good. In this moment, allow me to speak to my collective and give us the messages that are needed for us in this time. Bless us, protect us, and guide us towards our true fulfillment and what we're here to do on this journey. Ashe. Amen. Y'all, we got some new creamer. Some creme brulee. Creamer, baby. Oh, baby. It's pretty good. I was like, I gotta do this more often. Sure, give us a message. Message you have for us in this moment. Y'all, I haven't been home for real in a minute. Y'all, that's not okay. I don't. But I start talking to y'all. Any message you're trying to give us in this moment? Okay. All right. Elevation. Elevation. It's basically like heights. Elevation. Yeah, pretty this is. This is like somewhere in Africa. So, before I want to say this, y'all, I've been moving a lot this past, 3 months. Like, I'm going somewhere different every weekend. Over here, over there, doing this, doing that. I haven't even been at home as much. I've been with my girlfriend a lot. We have like business days where we do like business things with each other and stuff. But I'm just saying that to say like this is like my first time being home in a minute, and I am happy to be here with you guys. I'm happy that I'm spending my time doing this right now. So I'm gonna be carving out more time to do so. Okay. All right. So, we have elevation. Why I keep questioning that? Okay. So one of the things I've thought about is like going to new heights and even seeing things from a higher perspective or just a different perspective. Maybe once being at a lower point and seeing things from the surface that you are actually like on, and maybe even allowing yourself to go on a journey to see things like for a hike or for a walk, to see things on a different level. Well, it makes me think about when I went to Hawaii and we went on this hike. It was easy going up, baby. It was easier going up than it was going down. Okay, it was really easier going up than going down. It was more because like the ground seems a little closer maybe, and like you can kind of lean your body and like use your hands or whatever case may be like as you go up. But on the way back down, it was a different feeling because I felt like, oh shit, like I had to lean back a little bit more. I'm more trying to get back closer to the ground, so I felt like I wasn't gonna slip while I'm trying to like because you're going back down this elevation, so I don't want to just be like walking straight up and like and that was new to me. Y'all, I was sore after that. I was like, what? Who I thought I was? But it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. And but let's talk about going up. So I was like really just focusing on like trying not to fall, like and getting to where we're trying to go. Like I didn't have any moments where there wasn't that many moments that I can really remember of me just sitting and like looking at how far I came or looking at where I was in that moment. I'm like, let's just get up to where the land is leveled and everything just looks like, whew, like flat. Okay. And an image. What makes me think about this is like an image of a picture of me that I took, being up there, and I was so cute, y'all. But I was on a flatter surface, and we did get up to one of the heights. We didn't get up to like the highest heights. I was like, oh, I ain't going up there. I was like, oh no, like, cause I already have some fears of heights in some ways. I have some, and it's crazy because I'm not that fearful of heights, but like the idea of sometimes of when I don't feel like I have a stable foundation underneath me, or like I could slip or fall or something. I'm like, oh baby, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. But there were other people around that were like running up and down that damn mountain. I'm like, kudos to them. But part of me says they probably had some experience, some practice. Like this probably wasn't their first rodeo. This is your first rodeo. You can't compare yourself to somebody else. You can't compare yourself to someone else's life, anything, like, because they probably have a little bit more experience or understanding of how to move their body and maybe a little bit more confidence than you do. And that is okay. But one of the things that I'm glad I did it, because the view was beautiful. And one of the things that I always think about sometimes, like when you are at a higher elevation, things below you look smaller, right? Like they're not the same size it was when you were they weren't as big as they are or big as they appear when you're like with it, but when you're above it, it's smaller. And it kind of makes me think about like what, like when you get on a look at things from a higher perspective, or you're elevating the things that once were your obstacles are in your face that seem so big, they're smaller now because you're at a different height now. Maybe they're not as influential to make you stop, or the big worries that you had, they become smaller. That's kind of like what I'm getting from this, because I just kept thinking about like, wow, like those houses look so small, and every time I'm actually at a higher height of actually like physically higher than something, it makes me realize how small things look, and it's not as overwhelming and not as like big as they once were when I was on the same level as them, or like with it. Of course the houses are bigger than me, but I feel like I'm bigger than the house, from this higher perspective. Everything just looks so small. And I even think about that when I'm on a plane and I'm traveling. I'm like, wow, like I know that building big as fuck, but up here that building looks so small. And I just wonder what that's about, as far as like a perspective shift. But I kind of feel like it is the understanding that as you continue to go up and you allow yourself to walk those paths towards, your higher destination, the things that you feel called to, the things that once were so big start to be so small. That's like what I'm getting from this. And then we have 36 in the corner, which takes up to a 9, which is cycles coming to an end, things completing, but also new things will begin. When something ends, something new starts over. Something starts anew. And I hear, do you want the old cycles that you used to have? Because cycles will repeat, right? That's just what cycles do. Or do you want to start a new cycle? Something really new and on a new trajectory, a new journey towards somewhere else versus to where the cycle and journey that you've already been on. I hear like you're still on earth. Even when you're at an elevated point, you're still here on earth. You may not be touching the ground of, depending on if you're in a plane, but let's just say you're on that mountain, you're still touching earth. You're still technically on the ground. So it's still having a sense of groundedness, or there is a sense of groundedness amongst us all. Even when you start to elevate and you do start to go to new heights as an individual, you're still going to be on ground. It's not like you're somewhere else, not some fairy tale, not some like above all. But even those things in those elevated places will still look somewhat that size that it looked like when you were on the bottom surface. But when you look down at where you once were, where you came from, that type of thing. And it's just giving me like the things that seem so big right now, eventually you're going to look back at it and be like, huh, like it's not that big, and you're bigger than it, in a sense of any challenges or any type of things that you're going through, and the blockages that you feel like you have, or just whatever the things that seem so big in your life. When you allow yourself to continue to walk, and you allow yourself to continue to go up, and not allowing those things that seem so big, and you keep moving forward, those big things start to be not as big as they once were. Maybe even with fear, like the more that you face your fears, not that you never will be afraid of anything, but you'll realize like, oh, I've overcome those fears, I overcame that. So it gives you the confidence and ability to know that wherever you are going on your journey, you will overcome, and you can overcome. And remembering where you once were, of what you did overcome in the past. Yeah, I just really feel like it's seeing these new heights and different. Get it? Like you see, it's a whole different climate up there, and maybe even like preparing for the new climate that you're going into. And you see like the clouds, so maybe even amongst the waves, some things will be very misty and foggy, and you have to walk through that. But one thing I also realized about clouds, and you ever notice that about fog, is like the clouds seem so dense from afar, right? But when you start walking in it, it's actually more visually clearer than you thought it once was from the outside. So, yeah. One thing I just thought about while I was saying the thing about, looking back at the things that you've overcome. When it was 2020, I believe, and I was just in desperate, like I really wanted to have a relationship with God. Like I'm like, yo, and I had all these fears, and I'm like, I'm trying to move forward, but for some reason I can't. I feel like I can't. I don't know what's right for me. I don't know what's wrong. And that's when God just took me on a whole journey about this idea of right and wrong, and there's really no such thing. And took me on this whole journey of like putting me into the Bible, putting me into listening to religious like pastors and things like that, and then taking me out and putting me over here. Like I was like just genuinely feel like I was just guided from there. But one of the things that happened to me was I was standing right here at this desk looking at my window. I'm like, God, like I need help. I need it. And but it was like a dire, it was like an internal thing as well going on. And next thing you know, I heard Bible verses. I think it was like Proverbs 3 and 5. And then wait. Yeah. Yep, Proverbs 3 and 5 through 6. So I really was 3 and 5, and I just put through 6 because I wrote it down up here. I wrote this, and then it was October 2nd, 2021. Girl, I felt 2020. And then also, yeah, the next scripture that came into my mind was Proverbs 31:25. Y'all, I ain't picked no Bible up ever. Like, I have a Bible. But y'all, like, I didn't hear that from nobody else. Like, that was in the moment of me, and all I heard was Proverbs 3 and 5 and Proverbs 31:25. That's what I heard, and that's where I went. Like, that's how I knew. I was like, I'm getting chills right now. I was like, oh, this is for me. I was like, okay. And y'all, I went to go find that Bible. And we'll start with the 3 and 5. It was like, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. And at first I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm thinking like, oh, like, then God took me on a journey of understanding what that really meant. In all your ways, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Like, the Lord is within you, your spirit, your energy. Um, it is in you. And then lean out on your own understanding. Sometimes your mind doesn't know where your spirit is taking you. Like, the mind will lead you to think, well, I need to go do this, I need to go do that. And like, you're ignoring what you feel called to do, what you are genuinely being led to do. You start to prioritize other things. Your mind is like, well, it doesn't make sense. I don't see how this can work. I don't, like, the mind is logic. The spirit is beyond logic. You know, God is beyond logic. Energy is beyond logic. And all your ways submit to him. Like, him, I like to look at, like, of course, this is the Bible, but understanding energy and understanding the divine, put what you need to put there. And all your ways, I feel like it's like trusting your spirit and your soul, what you are genuinely being guided to, and that will make your path straight. Okay. And I feel like, you know, God speaks to people in all types of ways. You know, we're not going to go all in that, because that could be another conversation for another day. But at first I took that a different way. Like, I took it the traditional route. And so I just like went there, but then I went there and it took me back. And then it helped me get a bigger understanding of like what this really means and what this is for me. And then one of the ones that actually I thought about more recently, it was like a month ago, but this is the one that really like hit me. I think this is the one that actually made me cry. I'm gonna read the first one that I wrote down back in 2021, and it was, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future and can laugh at the days to come. And I was just like, wow. And then recently, like maybe a month ago, I was at work and I thought about the scripture, because like I'd be at work and I'd be like, God, I don't want to be here. Wait. You know, I'm just struggling. But doing what I gotta do. I'm a Taurus first, so I'm just gonna get to the money, okay? It is, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her lover also, as they praise her. Look, y'all see me do a little remix because I'm with a woman right now. And we're gonna be together. Okay. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who respects the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works being her praise at the city gates. Bet. Look, that's like they was like bet. And that's like what I get, y'all. Like, I am someone that's allowed fear to really take me through there in so many ways. Like, it's happened more recently, but I'm noticing and I'm being more aware, and I'm like, I gotta be more faithful. And that is also, it's so crazy. Faithfulness is one of my biggest struggles, while also one of my biggest blessings. Like, I do it simultaneously. Like, I genuinely do believe I'll be okay, but my mind will tell me otherwise. And then also it just gets overwhelming. But then I watch myself learn about myself. I watch myself keep going. I watch myself persevere. I watch myself really doing the best I can to get back to myself. And I'm just like, I love you and I thank you for not giving up and not being with the okie doke. Okay? So I'm about to read this. Then we'll close this out. I have enjoyed being here with you guys. And yeah. Elevation. Oh, this is in Kenya, Tanzania. I'm gonna go there one day. Okay. Okay, y'all, forgive me if I butcher this. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest peak in Africa. The phrase Kilama Najaro comes from the local Wachagan language, meaning something akin to a journey that has no ending. The implication is that you will never reach the top, that life can always offer you new experiences. If you are lucky, this means that your life will be full of good and blessed things that you will also experience. Okay, sorry, y'all, forgive me. If you are lucky, this means that your life will be full of good and blessed things, and that you will also experience your share of loss and death. Death presents you with opportunity to support the dead in their journey to become an ancestor. There are many ways to elevate your ancestors. Outwardly express communal grief. Outwardly expressed communal grief is a critical first step in the journey of a recently or not so recently departed loved one moving from the physical plane to the ancestral realm. Ancestral elevation begins with grief and continues with the acknowledgement of your ancestors. Your ancestors are on the other side of the veil awaiting your communication. Calling their name is the most straightforward way to open the portals and establish an ongoing and reciprocal connection. And if you don't know their names, you can call on the ancestors unknown and unseen. As for the next steps, the what is more important than the how. The process of ancestral elevation requires symbolic elevation of their spirit. Across the continent of Africa, there are various and specific approaches to ritual and symbolic supporting the elevation of ancestors. When you draw this card, there is more likely an ancestor who is calling for support in their elevation. They have not been properly grieved or acknowledged and have yet to take their place among the ancestral brethren and sistering. Invitation: create or borrow a ritual to help their ancestor complete their soul ascension. Interesting. You know, when I hear this, of course, literal, okay, but also symbolically, I feel like I am a fourth house Leo moon with my North Node there as well. And I've always had this thing about like ancestors because I'm like, I don't really know a lot of people that's passed. And I'm like, and then also I'm like, how do you know these people are like on the same time and I'm on? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had so many questions. Still do. Um, but when I read that, I'm just like, I'm thinking like, of course, literal, but also like us also doing the work as us as individuals, acknowledging our heritage, things like tarot, like um holistic practices, like things that are really connected to our ancestry, um symbolisms and all that good stuff, like acknowledging them in that way as well to elevate them, for them to meet, like, keeping what they've created alive, but also even within ourselves, like us reaching towards, I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, because of course, like I do understand that they're talking about literal, but I'm also thinking about like, where does this also play a part as us and individuals? And I kind of feel like the more that we acknowledge our ancestors, and that brings us closer to that connection that some of us are really looking for, that guidance that a lot of us are looking for. I know for me, I am like, but also not trying to be too completely dependent, and also knowing my own personal place, still figuring it out. But in this card is really talking about like connecting with your ancestors, because also ancestral wisdom, um, learning from what they went through, and knowing where they have came and the works that they've done. that also I feel like will bring us a sense of pride, a sense of honor, and it keeps it alive so that we may not end up doing the same things that our ancestors already done and learned from. um I can think about that in so many ways, like maybe even with a little bit what I was speaking about, but beyond what I was speaking about though, I do feel like this is, if y'all guys have ever felt called to build a relationship with your ancestors. I know I've thought about it and it's come up a few times, but I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna speak to spirit about it and be like, what are you really trying to say to me? But what I also get from this is, to have a more broader connection with life and with existence, understanding what your ancestors have done and acknowledging them, and also most definitely helping your ancestor get closer to their spiritual home, in the sense of, if there is an ancestor that has not made it because they haven't been grieved, they haven't been acknowledged, do that. But also I think about like the grieving and the acknowledge within our own spiritual selves, our own journey, like allowing ourselves to grieve and allowing ourselves to acknowledge where we've been and the things that we've done, and the lessons that we learned. That might also help get our ancestors to where they're going, because we're all connected energetically at the end of the day. So as you learn your lessons and as you grieve parts of yourself, it also most likely will help your lineage that's to come, to break cycles and to come in with new fresh energy, because you have basically broke that generational curse that we call it, or have played a part in the chain, to take y'all in a different direction than where y'all was going before. um I think I'm gonna leave it right there, because I do think this can also be very literal. But also I was thinking about, what could this mean symbolically, what could this mean for us as individuals still here. But I do feel this strong sense of honoring your ancestors and acknowledging them, even people that you think you're not connected to, um, because I feel like that may give you more strength as well in this life, to know that you do have a purpose and you do have a place, and what you do does not just help the people that are to come, but also to help the people that have passed. Um, I'm trying to think, like, who needs to be grieved and acknowledged more. All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I do low key want to pull one more thing with you guys, since we're already on the African. This is the Black Goddess Within Oracle. I want to pull. Holla! Y'all, I ain't got no bottoms on. I don't want to flash y'all crazy. You know what I'm saying? My room smells so good, y'all. I love this smell. What kind of scents do y'all like? I love scents that make me feel at home, that makes me feel hugged, that just like, I think this is like, I put it back, so I gotta go find it. But it's some type of lemon. It's some type of lemon something. But it's also very warm. Oh, it smells like Cheerios, y'all. Okay. I was gonna put some tarot, y'all, but I actually have a lot more fun with oracle cards. So, I think it's because I try to be a little logical, but oracle cards, I don't have to be logical. But promises, you don't have to be logical with tarot either. But I don't know. I think I be thinking a little too hard, or I think I do. I probably do just fine. We'll pull some tarot cards too, but I do have a fun time with oracles. I have a fun time with oracles. All right, let's pull one more card out of the Know Thyself. I think for symbols. Y'all. One of these guys I know went to school with him here, and he goes to Africa, and like his family is doing things over there. His sister travels over there all the time, and hold on, I don't need this to mess up because I feel like it's low key not as deep as it once was, and like I known this for some time now, and he went back recently and I think I've seen him before because he had bought a bracelet for me for his mom. Did I ever write that down? I don't think I ever wrote that down. Y'all be trying to keep up with the stuff I be selling because, I think I wrote that down, but I just thought about it, so, data. Okay, so, and I was like, like, I love keychains, y'all. Like, let me show y'all. Before I pull another card real quick. Wait, I don't know if y'all can. Okay, y'all can't see me. Y'all can't see me. Shout out to get banned on here. So, these are my keychains. Like, I got so many keychains, y'all. Some of them have been exactly like what I've gotten myself while I travel. Some of them are like my mom has given to me because, like, people know that I like them. My girlfriend has bought me some. Well, she bought me one when she went to Cabo. But yeah, just literally, I love keychains, so I collect them. And so I was like, hey, like, can you give me an African keychain? And this symbol is also a part of his business. I believe this is like God is the supreme, I believe. We'll find the card. But basically, like, God is the ultimate power. Spirit is the ultimate power. Let me see if I can find that card real quick so I can take out the definition of it. But I believe that's what it is from my own remembrance, if I remember. But I believe it's like God is all. And like there's no one above God. One thing I've also thought about, God supremacy, is I really do love life. If you guys challenge your life, I think I just recommend just sitting back and really think about how crazy it is to actually be here. The fact that we get to see, smell, taste, hear, and feel. And yes, it's wild things going on. Yes, there's duality amongst us. And I think that's another thing that a lot of people never was taught is about duality. So they're really confused about like evil or, like all that stuff. Like if you really understand duality and like the principles of the world and life, it will make you stronger to realize like, don't be too fucking surprised, basically. And learn your part and what part do you want to play in it. And y'all, we're going to get into it a little bit more because I was about to go somewhere, but we're going to stay right here and then we'll go somewhere another day. Okay. So this is the card and it is only God is greater than you. And I like that. No man is greater than you. No fear is greater than you. No anything that you could possibly say. Because some people be putting above themselves, above what's possible. Whew. Okay. This symbol is often used in Ghana to reflect a person who is spiritual or religious. This symbol can also confirm an oppressor is not greater than you. Only God is greater than you. No oppressor is greater than you. There's nothing in this world greater than you. And the day that you really believe that could be these jobs, whatever makes you feel oppressed, these belief systems, the way that you view yourself, the way that you're moving, however way you want to put it, there is no one greater than you but the divine. Okay? But also understand the part that you play in this world, because where you allow yourself to go is where the energy is flowing. So if you believe in lack, if you believe that there is someone else, some system, something greater than you, then. But if you believe there's no one greater than you, there's no being greater than you. There's no system greater than you. Oh. I wonder what that would look like. Okay, y'all. So, I don't know if I want that to be our card. Like, I did think about that because of my keychain. Y'all, carried around with me everywhere. Because I feel like that's a reminder I needed it. Like, there's nothing greater than you. And I don't believe God wants you to suffer. I don't believe God wants you to live a life that, that isn't fulfilling to you, that isn't valuable to you, that doesn't, like, God wants you to have a good life. Spirit, this world, you can have it. And the truth is, a lot of people have been sold to have, the best life, a greater life after life. But the best life you can ever live is here, because we alive, baby. Like, think about that. We are alive. we are alive, and we're conscious of it. Like, I'm looking out and I'm seeing the world. I am looking at myself right now as an individual. I'm like, I am alive. What a freaking honor and blessing. Life will get tough. Things will feel heavy and overwhelming at times. But remind yourself, I am alive. And as long as I'm alive, I have an opportunity to feel my best, be my best, and make different choices and decisions. Sometimes I be feeling like some things be bigger. And I'm like, oh, can I really make this change? Can I really make this different decision? You can. Will you? Ooh, this is for me, y'all. This is me, y'all. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Probably like, okay, what you gonna do about it? Because it ain't gonna happen unless you do something about it. All right. Patience and tolerance. Take heart. When a person is said to have a heart in his stomach, that person is very tolerant. Simply put, be kind-hearted. So when a person is said to have a heart in his stomach, that person is very tolerant. Simply put, to be kind-hearted. Take heart. Be kind-hearted. You know, one thing I thought about, and I spoke about this with my partner, I was like, I'm noticing, like, I am kind-hearted, but I feel like my environment sometimes, like, even me, I gotta take accountability of me. I'm noticing that I'm kind to people in their face, like, but then I be talking shit, not bad shit. Let me be clear. I'm not like being nasty and disgusting, but I'm like, but then again, I thought about, like, what's common sense to you is not common to other people. And then I also learned that what you know, other people don't know. Like, this is your profession. This is your space. Like, you're dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people aren't. So, and then also the environment that I work in, and I've been taking this into account a lot, is like, I'm dealing with a very vulnerable population. I'm dealing with people that have mental illnesses, X, Y, and Z. So I'm never mean to them. Like, I'm not going to be mean to them. But then I realized, like, we're living in different realities a little bit. And, like, what is to you may not be to them. But even just, like, with doctors and stuff, like, you are in a position where you have to inform people. So even though you may not like their attitude or like how they're coming to you, you have to remain you and do your job, and you have to inform people, and you have to be in a sense of authority in times. So I have been wanting to make sure, like, that I'm being not just kind in people's face, but making sure that I'm, even if I do want to low-key say something or be like, what was that? Keeping it to just don't. So that's a little vulnerable. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of my tea, because I am kind. But also, I have my moments where I'm just like, what the heck? Like, and really it's only when people get, like, a really nasty attitude with me, and it's just like, look, this is beyond me. Especially with dealing with having to, like, tell people bad news, in the sense of, like, things that are out of my control. Like, people are like, and this is different, but just, you're dealing with people, and that's one thing I'm realizing, like, I'm dealing with people, and these people have their own struggles. And one thing that I want to tell you guys, insurance rules the nation. I'm sorry. Like, I work in the pharmacy, and one of the things that are so, like, dang, is there's people that need medications, but their insurance doesn't want to cover it, or they're only covering X amount. These medications cost a lot. And so one of the things we do is we help patients get on, like, grants and assistance and things like that. But my point is that there's times where we have to turn people away, or people are not able to get what they need because of high copays. And then some people just like, well, I never paid a high copay. It's just like, well, you got one today. I'm sorry. Like, did you bill my insurance? My insurance is supposed to be no copay. And I'm like, you have a copay. And it be the little things, like $4.50, and like, or like dollars. Now I get it if it's like whatever, but then it also makes me think about myself. It's like, Kayla, you need to be able to afford the life. Like, you need to be, if you ever get on medications or anything, you want to be able to afford this. Like, you need to, come on, let's get together. Like, of course my living and all that stuff right now, like, I can afford things, but then again, I be thinking about some of the things I be doing, and living beyond my means. I'm like, Kelly, you got to get together. Like, basically, what my point is saying this. My point in saying this is I'm learning a lot of lessons about money, about people, and about keeping my cool. Even if I feel like it's common sense, even if I get rubbed the wrong way, I need to have patience and more tolerance. Okay? Um, yeah. So that's what made me think about that. Take heart. When a person is said to have a heart in his stomach, that person is very tolerant. Simply put, to be kind hearted. Yeah. Even when you're triggered. I think there's a balance with that. But especially like what I'm just talking about, like it was just something I noticed, like my energy has shifted a little bit. Like I used to be more tolerant, and now I'm just realizing like I'm just annoyed. But let me bring myself back and have more patience and tolerance. And that's what I'm going to be practicing for my days going forward. But I did literally just hit my girlfriend up about that. I was like, babe, like, I'm noticing, like, and I've noticed it for, like, the past, like, 2 months, 3, if I'm being a little more generous. And I'm like, I don't like this, you know, like, I'm not liking this. But it also made me think about when you are dealing with people and like just reminding myself like you need to stay who you are, you know, like don't go low, don't feed into it, and realize that everybody doesn't know what you know, period. Everybody is not privy to what you're privy to, and this is the opportunity for you to teach them what you know and to tell them what you know. And even if, let's just say another scenario, people catching attitude, people getting whatever type of way, you don't have to go there. You know, you have nothing to prove. You don't have to like, I've never, like, I'm at work, y'all, so I'm not just going crazy. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, when I hang up that phone, I be like, she got an attitude with me, and because of the, you know, but we all do. And I think in some ways good to like let it out. Like I do think in some ways is, you know, I'm not saying lie to yourself or bottle up your anger, because I'm a 12 Aries Mars. Like I need to let that go. Okay. I need to let it out. I don't need to let that bottle up too much. But choosing words more wisely. And deciding, how do I even want to digest what just happened? You know, how do I actually want to intake that in? Do I want to take that in as like more lightly? That's my point. Okay, I'm done talking to y'all. I'm done. Because I'll keep going. But yeah, that helps me reflect on things. But I also feel like this is also a call. Like I am kind to myself, but I think one of the most kindest things that you can do for yourself is listen to yourself and to be your biggest supporter, and also show up for yourself. That's the most kindest thing you can do, is show up for yourself and the things that really matter to you. All right, guys. Be you, stay true, and always remember, honey, stay golden. Bye.